You allowed David to become the youngest WBC champion. Now you want to fault Devin Haney for being young and don't let him become the youngest WBC champion. Yes, you'll elevate him to champion, but you won't let him win it. So he gave me the analogy of Canelo. He said, oh, look at what happened to Canelo when he fought Mayweather too soon. The world ridiculed him, social media. I think that Canelo did damn good off of the Mayweather loss. He became the next face of boxing. I don't see how that loss affected him. Mauricio feels that loss affected him in some way, and he wants to stop future champions from getting in the ring with people of that caliber too soon. That's his whole excuse for what just took place.
No, I disagree. Did he say that?
No, that's all his words.
Well, I mean, in that case, then, up until Top Rank put in a request for the franchise tag, we were on a course. We were on a course with Lomachenko, obviously, because Lomachenko swooped in and grabbed the WBC belt, while we had WBC business determining the mandatory, determining what Devin eventually became the interim champ. And to my understanding, what the interim champ meant was that should the regular champ decide to do anything other than fight him, then Devin would then become the champion. And we knew that going into the Zaro Abdullah fight, when it was elevated from mandatory to interim championship.
But what do you think about his analogy, trying to use Canelo as an excuse, saying that Canelo suffered an early loss that was unnecessary?
Well, I mean, that's like...
And obviously he's insinuating that Haney could possibly suffer the same type of loss to a Lomachenko.
Well, that's an unfair analogy in the sense of Lomachenko, his first fight or second fight out was for a world title. You know what I mean? So he was only 2 fights in. Devin is 23-0, and he's possessed every green belt that they have. The youth belt, Devin, he possessed every green belt that the WBC can have. He's won. He's the youth belt, the international belt, the silver belt, and now the world championship. So I don't fault the WBC at all. I fault Bob Arum, Lomachenko for cheating the fans of the opportunity to fight Devin Haney, because one, they said it's about making the biggest fights. I think the Devin Haney fight and Lomachenko fight is just as big as a Teofimo Lopez and a Richard Comey winner, because you're facing your mandatory. Now, the word undisputed is up for dispute already. You know what I mean? He won't be undisputed because Devin has because of what happened. Now, if that had not happened, then he would truly be undisputed. Now, if he had faced his mandatory because of a timing issue, then he would be undisputed. But based on him not fighting timing issue, not fighting his mandatory had to be elevated to full world champion, because that fight would have been issued.
Do you foresee them coming back and fighting you guys?
Well, if Bob Arum is true to what Bob Arum is saying about Al and everyone else, then he's holding up a good fight. You know what I mean, with Lomachenko and Devin, contrary to what his beliefs are, because beliefs as promoters should come secondary to what the fans want. The fans want that fight. You know what I mean? Devin wants that fight. We've heard from Devin. Now you would have to ask Lomachenko, who was definitely vocal the whole time with Gervonta Davis, and to me it was my understanding is, how could you want to fight with Gervonta Davis at 130? You're not going to be undisputed. So you talked about that. He talked about that during his campaign at 135. He talked about going down if the fight was right. So I'm saying is, why not fight Devin Haney? Remember he said he was going to have a stay busy fight. What kind of opponent was that going to be? Just curious.
I mean, but when you have those stay busies, you don't get someone that's dangerous to ruin the plans. You just get someone to keep,
But when you're at the top of the game and your blood is flowing, what do you need to do?
Huh? For Stevie Forbes in between.
Well, that's why. You know what? That's why Devin is going to be 20-year-old. He's a 20-year-old world champion. He's a 20-year-old world champion, and he's on his first title defense at 20, and he fights. We don't pick him. We would have fought Lomachenko. We'd have fought Luke Campbell. We wanted to fight anybody that, you know what I'm saying, was in front of us.
So you think they'll come back and fight you after they get that belt from Teofimo?
I'm in the Devin Haney business. I'm not in the Lomachenko business. I don't know what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? I think one of our biggest, what's to be overshadowed, one of our biggest goals, like any other kid in the gym or any other pops in the gym, was to become a world champion. And we're
What's the how was the conversation with you and Eddie after you got the belt? How'd that go? Conversation?
I mean, the conversation went good. He congratulated us, of course. You know what I'm saying? He's happy about it, you know. What more can I say about that?
What was your reaction to calling Devin Haney a good prospect in the negotiations?
I mean, Carl Moretti, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's a throwback boxing executive that uses the wrong verbiage at the wrong time. You know what I mean? I guess his sentiment is that Devin is too young to actually be in the Lomachenko business plan, to affect the business plan, because they've spent a lot of time putting it together, and Devin's turned pro for going on his 4th year. So I think he's more going on his amount of time in the business versus just anything else.
Is he too black? Is he too black? Is he Devin Haney too black?
I mean, you know, in the boxing business, the black and white thing, I think it's a green thing. You know what I'm saying? I think, per se, you know what I mean? Because both Carl Moretti, Bob Arum, Todd DeBuff, all of them were really nice when they were negotiating, as far as when we were talking about doing business with them. You know what I mean? At that particular time, the rumor is that the number wasn't right, but I think the deal structure wasn't right. It wasn't something that we were into. So I always commend Eddie. Eddie has an opinion. He does it the way he does it, but he saw value in doing a relationship with us that secured our business future, as well as, you know, our immediate fight plan. Our immediate fight plan.
It wouldn't have been a co-promotion deal like you are with
Of course not.
DAZN.
Of course not. No.
Rumor has it that in top-ranked contracts, that if you fight for a belt, it extends your contract. If you win the belt, it automatically extends your contract.
Well, I mean, I saw, in all fairness to Aaron, when I saw the contract, Devin was like 4-0, so that's a totally different agreement that you would have when he's 23-0. But going into it, I always believed that we would be where we were, so I was kind of stern, kind of stickler for, you know, certain things that companies didn't necessarily agree with, that they would probably agree with today, but at that point in time, I can understand the apprehensiveness of them.
At the time of the signing, it wasn't the most popular decision, but it was the right decision.
Of course.
Explain that, what the signing with DAZN.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the most popular decision because they were a new company here, and what we wanted to do was, they were just enough new in the U.S. that we could show that some traction. We could show actually what we brought. I mean, if we had went with the ESPN and top rank, then we probably wouldn't have got a chance to show our value and show what we bring.
It's a lot of competition.
Yeah, it's a lot of competition.
Names.
Yeah, and then to show what you actually bring, we knew immediately with the DAZN deal, we could actually show, you know, what we bring.
Do you feel you were robbed of that father-son moment of you and your son in the ring getting the belts and y'all cry and...
Man, nobody can rob me of no father and son. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? We make these moments, we have these moments with you guys. And you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing to share them, but you know, that's my son, so we share private, intimate moments that far exceed anything that boxing can give us.
So with those belts being tied up, what sort of direction is you and your son kind of thinking of going?
Well, I mean,
because like you said,
the
you're
belts,
not in the seal business, you're in the Haney business. So what's next for Haney?
See, the thing about not being in it is that we have the world championship belt, and we plan on defending it on November 9th. That will be his first defense. You know, we plan on wearing that belt with honor and pride and dignity, and whoever's next, the people or whatever. And that's the strangest thing, is that the people actually have more to say than their favorite fighters. You know, it would seem that with the belt now, and you know, they say once Devin Haney gets the belt, and then, but
You know, a
in
guy
social
like
media,
Vasil he got a big fight on the horizon.
well, see, that's what I said. The difference between a Carl Moretti, who traditionally would be able to speak for the fighter, now with social media, and granted for you guys, fighters can come out now and speak for themselves. There's nothing contractually that stops a fighter from saying what's on his mind. So I would think that if some of these fights want to happen, and some of these fighters really want to fight Devin or challenge Devin for that strap, you would see more of that. Because we weren't short about challenging the Robert Eastern, you know what I mean, Loma, you know what I mean. We challenged. So you know, I mean, social media can make the fight. It's
That
not
was when
like
you guys were coming up. Everybody calls people out on the way up.
Right.
Now you got the belt. Where are you going now?
So should we look back down the ladder and call people out?
And that's what I'm trying to get to. I think you have to, right? Because Vasil has everything else, and he's busy. They're avoiding you, and whatever the reason is. So you can't go that way. If Teofimo's busy, Come's busy.
Well, in prize fighting, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we have a belt, so this is a business. You know what I mean? So it's several fights out there to be made. You know, you got the Javante the Tank fight. You got the Ryan Garcia fight. You know what I mean? You got several fights. You know what I'm saying?
So
to be made.
That's what you're looking at next. Those types of names next.
Well, I mean, Devin is the most dominant fighter at 135. You know what I'm saying? Anybody at 135. I mean, Tank jumped up to 140 and y'all didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So he went to Josh Taylor. He just said something about Josh Taylor.
No,
he said about Josh Taylor.
You had a great show on that.
I mean,
But
shit,
what I'm saying is,
if they get him that fight, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind. He could come back down and see Haney later, or wait for Haney to come up. But like, if you gonna go out there and chase greatness,
yeah. But what I'm saying is, that's probably what I've said all along. Is probably we're gonna have to go up to 140 to get a challenge, because we don't have a challenge at 135.
How much longer is 35?
so
No, do you see what I'm saying?
Add some more confusion to your division, right? So
No,
Haney
but that
became-
doesn't make sense. I'm saying we don't on social media. You know what I'm saying? You got a chance to talk to one of our attorneys.
This
One of our
fight's at
attorneys.
35. That
Who?
you could fight.
Who? You tell me.
I mean, look, Javante just dusted off,
Look.
Gamboa. He about to have a WBA regular fight, and that's
Well, you
not-
just said you want to see him fight Josh Taylor.
Yeah, but he's busy.
Who's busy?
Javante, he fights December 28th.
No, but I'm saying who you want Devin to fight.
Tank.
He's
But you just
number
said-
one. He's ranked number one.
He's ranked number 1. It ain't come out yet, but it's out. Like, anybody who get the emails, is out already on the
Oh,
PDF.
Ness, I just said that. I just said Tank.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm trying to get to is belt, so that you know where you at. Right? So he's fighting.
Man,
for
we
belt.
got the WBC strap, man, the world champion. That's what I'm saying, is does Tank want that, or does he want the WBA gold? So listen.
That's what I'm trying to say. He about to fight for this WBA. It's not the real WBA.
He don't have nothing we want. If he wants the real shit, then come get this WBC strap, or go to 140 with Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Come on, this shit is
But if he
like
gets that
ABC.
WBA,
What?
do you consider that a unification? Because it's the regular versus like the WBC kind of now being regular. Because it's two, you know what I'm saying? Same thing like the WBA. So Vasil's the WBA champ, but now
Right.
Tank's also fighting for the regular WBA. And Vasil's also the
Well,
WBA
listen.
champ.
The only way
Haney's also
the only way that I personally recognize that, and I recognize the move for Devin, was that we challenged Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? And became champion. See, everybody be talking that shit, right? You know what I mean, about this and that. No, motherfucker, challenge somebody on the pound for pound list. Be serious diligently about somebody on that pound for pound list, one of them bad motherfuckers. And when they say they don't want to fight, or that they say they busy, then you know what I'm saying, you handling your business, to me, in my opinion. You know.
So handling business is Luke Campbell, because I've been hearing Team Haney say Luke Campbell a lot.
We was already in line for Luke. We was in line for Luke Campbell
He
too.
can't be in the same line no more. He done him drop. He has dropped after the loss.
Devin the baddest motherfucker at 135. We might got to go to 140 to get a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to make the best fights. We want the biggest fights. We ready for them. If it's Ryan Garcia, because we got a belt. If it's Tank Davis, nothing personal towards any of them, but those are where the big fights at. But if Leonard Ellerby should want to pop some shit, like he the only one getting money around this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I got a 20-year-old bad motherfucker that go to the bank and they say Mr. Haney. So if they don't want to make the fight, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep doing what we doing. You know what I mean? Like we've been doing. You know? But should they do want to make the fight? We're in the position, and like I told, you know what I'm saying, Fred, from the very beginning, we're in the position to make the best fight happen. It's not like, oh, well, we got to talk to Bob or we got to talk Eddie. We did a deal with Eddie to make the best fights happen. And I was initially thinking that the Lomachenko was going to be easy, the Luke Campbell was going to be easy, and those fights on that side of the fence. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If we wanted Gamboa, we would have went with Al. You know what I'm saying? We'd have went with Al, and we would have went with the WBA, that side of it. You know what I mean? Respectfully.
So do you think he's filibustering, or do he actually want to make the fight? Because you said you think he's the only one cashing checks. Do you think one of those is just talking?
I think that's more difficult.
You think it's more difficult?
Politics?
The politics?
To get Javante on the zone?
Or either way, I mean,
No. But Eddie,
to fight Tevin. How much he gonna ask to fight Tevin?
No. Eddie just let Eddie he'll have his fighters go on ESPN with Aaron. You know what I'm saying? Eddie will have his fighters go on with Al. It doesn't matter. Out of all the promoters, and like I said, I feel like Eddie is the only promoter out of all the big ones that is more easier to make the fight. And for one, y'all say, for a while, y'all was saying all of Eddie's fighters was getting smashed. His fight, what's his name? Wait, hold on. Y'all was like, when I said Eddie and Al, and then I'm like, you didn't know he just lost the heavyweight championship to Al fighter. And Andy Ruiz. Oh, mess, you remember that now. The biggest prize in boxing. So come on, man. Y'all gotta give Eddie a little bit that he didn't work with everybody. So
I mean, but he's bringing him to the zone. Ramirez came to the zone.
Huh?
Ramirez came to the zone. Kovalev is coming to the zone.
Listen, when Andy Ruiz came over there to the zone, he got paid. He got paid.
Less than Big Baby.
Huh?
Less than Big Baby. Real short notice. 5 weeks notice and you get less than the dude that was supposed to
I bet his next fight in Saudi Arabia, he's getting paid more money than a lot of people.
He also had to hold out for that.
Right.
He threatened not to go just to get that little bit extra more. So,
right.
You know, Eddie's good to y'all.
Yeah.
With him.
But to have the opportunity, but to be put in that place,
yes.
the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
you gotta
the beauty
still
of that
commit.
was that it came from social media too. Like,
right.
He allowed someone to DM him and actually get a fight with a unified champion. So that's an amazing thing in itself. So yeah, I mean, going to 140, all the belts are kind of wrapped up too, and you just said you thought being on that side of the street would be easy to get Campbell and Brazil. So what makes you think you'll be able to get Josh Taylor, who got all the belts?
Man, we 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? We ain't pressed. You know what I mean? Like we're not pressed. Them guys, you know what I'm saying? Like we're trying to make the best fights. You know, we want to be politically correct. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to say nothing that we shouldn't be saying about world champions. You know what I'm saying? That are deserving to make the fights that they were making before Devin. You know what I'm saying? Stormed onto the scene. You know what I mean? Respectfully. So we want to fight. We want those fights. But at the same time, you know what can you do?
How easy do you think it is to get Ryan Garcia? Because that seems like the one that doesn't have any politics.
Man, well, Ryan Garcia got hard. Ryan Garcia and Devin came up. You know what I'm saying? You hear a lot of bad shit, but Ryan is not short about calling out the fights to be made. And that's why I think he's at the level that he is, because he's not short about it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to believe that Ryan is true, that eventually he wants to make the fight with Devin. I want to believe that.
So not next. He won't take a title shot